So we grew that from, again, 6 employees and 15, 20 clients to 80 employees at one time and 200 plus clients. And this is where we made an exit to AI. And yeah, life is good for people who had equity in the company.
All right. We are back with an interesting video actually with Ivan. And if you do not know Ivan, he was a pretty much head of everything, I would say, behind the scenes when it came to Solutions 8. And Kasim has actually stayed with Ivan with their new venture. And so we want to talk a little bit more about that, how Solutions 8 became what Solutions 8 was and what the next step in their journey was, and also a little bit more about how their new business is impacting some other marketing agencies. So kind of a unique perspective there. But yeah, want to hear more about what you got going on over there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Super excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yeah, it's been exciting watching you guys grow as well. I think the most appropriate place to start is from the beginning. So before the Solutions 8, I was doing a lot of random things. So I was more like a freelancer. I was running drop shipping stores for people. I was designing things like logo design, web designs, and so on. And then I found somebody who needed all of that packaged together. And this is how I started working with Kasim, actually as his CA, as his executive assistant back then, for $1,100 a month. That was fun. And after 2 months, yeah, my salary basically doubled. We started doing a lot of other things. And back then, Solutions 8 was not what it's now. So back then, everything was white labeled. So we had partners that took care of all of the ads running portion, and we were running everything for everyone. So that was like very hectic. And right now, the interesting part is that right now, majority of agencies going back. Right now, majority of agencies doing everything now because you have to be like omni-channel. You have to do all of the other things. And then it was 2018 when I joined the team. And in 2018, we decided to pivot. We were forced to pivot and start taking things in-house instead. And I started managing Google Ads campaigns back then for Nido Marketing primarily. So these two, like Solutions 8 and Nido Marketing, they were super close together. They were basically the same company. And I started taking care of Nido Marketing ads, started running that part, and we started building SOPs. And this is where what's like the main things that enabled us to be able to grow, I would say.
Quick
Number
point
one.
to Anito Marketing. That was a separate entity. It was still
Yeah.
attached, but only servicing Montessori schools, if I'm
Yes.
correct on that.
Yes. Yes.
And that was like
So
full service, right? So it was like not just that was like Google Ads, but then like there was some more
yeah.
CRM, I guess you could
So
say.
CAP has this very brilliant framework called hourglass of niching, right? So you start broad, you start providing all of the services to all of the people, and then you see some verticals that start working. And once you narrow down the vertical that really starts working, then you narrow down the exact service for that vertical, right? So you start niching down, and then once you niche down and find, okay, this is my niche, so Montessori schools. Now I will go ahead and start adding services. So this is what I see a majority of agencies doing wrong right now. They either niche down way too fast, so they serve one audience that they have no clue if it's gonna work, or vice versa, they offer everything for everyone. Like there is no sustainable way for you to do that. Like you just can't, because one client will have 1,000 hours worth project, another will like need 5 hours, and your pricing is just it's not really adjustable. So that's not real sustainable. What we done with Nido Marketing basically, so Custom went after this niche, and we found this niche. We first of all focused on the niche and started providing this like one service, seeing if that works. Once we saw that it's working, this is where we started populating new and new services. So yeah, Nido Marketing, in there we were providing Facebook ads, Google ads, websites. Later on we added High Level as a CRM, so basically transformed to SaaS. And now we are apparently SaaS partners as well in High Level. And Custom collected some awards in last October as well from the stage, so that was pretty cool. And
Nice. I think you guys were like number like 2 or 3 or something like that. It was definitely in the top 10.
it's affiliates, yeah. So we collected awards for SaaS, but back then, like in 2018, this is where we started. Like I started jumping on calls with High Level, and the reason is because Kasim didn't have time or thought it's important to join calls with Sean Clark about affiliate programs. So that was funny. But yeah, I was on the calls back then with all of the cool guys, Matt DeSano, Sean Clark, and all of the like biggest names in High Level right now. But back then it was very like niche software, basically. Only for the agencies, only for those who know. and so on. And we started implementing high level for Nido marketing, and this was our like first bigger SaaS where we created snapshots. We started implementing that. And back to the topic of taking things in house, SOPs. So building standard operational procedures, building in-house processes on how we do things. This is what allows us to grow. Because right now in Pareto Talent, we grow with we work with a lot of solopreneurs who are marketing agency, but there is like one person, but they're marketing agency, and they basically
sounds like me.
they're
Team of like 5.
they usually stuck at that. So you have to take sales calls yourself, you have to make strategy yourself, you have to deliver the ads yourself, you have to report to the client, you have to send the invoices, you have to track on all of that. And because you're doing it all yourself, you don't need any SOPs, because you know, like in your head, you know how everything is done. Like I can just go ahead and repeat all of these processes. Once you move from that to the actual creation of documentation of the stuff, how you do it, like even like shoot a Loom video, for God's sake, like, so you have something that you can give to someone else. Once you have this piece of documentation, this is when you are empowered to start hiring people. And this is exactly what we've done with Solutions 8. So back then it was like 6 people, I believe. We started mapping this together. Back then it was like in Asana. I started building some project templates. What are the tasks? What are the checklists? What we need to do on a weekly basis, every 7 day, every month, and so on. We started outlining that process for Google Ads. Then we duplicated that for Solutions 8 as well, because it was in the beginning for Nido marketing. And this is when we started adding to the team. We started with account managers. So if you are smart in strategy and can build stuff, like get away from clients as soon as possible. Like put someone between you, someone they can speak to. So
more
you can
impacts across multiple accounts.
Yeah. So then you become like the strategy person, not the person who's responsible for everything in front of everyone. And we've done exactly that. We hired first 3 people, Elizabeth, Regina, and then Leandra. I believe there were the first 3 account managers we hired. And from there we started growing. After that, like one of the smartest decisions back then that Kasim made was offshore. So finding talent, really high-end talent offshore, and working on the arbitrage of the salary, basically. Being able to deliver services that people in the US charge 10K for, and we back then were able to do it much cheaper, but still with super high quality. And we were not cheap by any means compared to other agencies back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember it was kind of cool, like, because I showed up to Solutions a little bit later than that. I was probably like in like the 3rd wave or 2nd wave of people back in, it was about what, 5 years ago almost. And it was interesting because like I was one of the hires that came from a separate agency, and like everything was like old school, like you're in the office and like everyone's working at a desk, and I was like, oh my God, like there's a way better way to do this. And then saw all the videos on Solutions 8, and I was like, oh my God, like it's all remote and like it's just based on performance. You just get good results and everyone's happy. And that's like, there you go. I feel like that's capitalism in a nutshell. Like if you get good results and everyone's happy and life's good, so it doesn't really matter like where you're from per se. Which I thought was cool.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Kasim is finishing the book right now. We are about to release the book called Hire. And in this book, Kasim goes through that process like explicitly on how we hired, what we went through, and why, like the reasons, the regions that we chose for that, and how we move forward with that. What is the hiring process, like all of these other things. So that should be pretty cool. But hiring offshore. Back then, it was 3 employees in the US. It was basically Kasim, John, and Regina, and copywriting team, but they were part-time primarily. And that empowered us to grow. And after that, hiring the specialists. We started with the head of specialists, and then started added to the specialist team, primarily from India, but we had other places as well, as I remember. So that what basically enabled us to be able to onboard these like 10, 20 clients per month if needed, right? Because right now, majority of solopreneur digital marketing people that I talk to, if they would think that they will have 10 calls with leads, not even clients, 10 calls with leads within a given month, like it's like way too much, because they have all of the other responsibilities that they take care of, right? So that's that journey in a nutshell. Then we started building all of the knowledge bases, and I think one of the best things we've done, what you're doing right now, is YouTube, is being able to share the knowledge. So as you learn, share it with people, and by that you're documenting your journey. First of all, you're building the report, you're building the personal brand, and you're also shown that like I'm actually smart. I'm not just smart in my emails, but I actually go in the account and click all of these items that I'm telling you about, right? So I think that what's again made John a superstar as well in people.
So I get, and for everyone watching this, I mean, it pretty much just comes down to, you've built the back end of an agency, you know how an agency functions. Cassim's, obviously everywhere in the agency space, and just saying his name, someone will be like, "Oh, I recognize that guy," kind of thing. And so, with that being said, you guys have done all of it. So now, what's sort of the next phase in that journey? What are you guys working on now that you think is impacting agencies?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So long story short, throughout that solid, so we grew that from again 6 employees and 15, 20 clients to 80 employees at one time and 200 plus clients. And this is where we made an exit to AI startup based from India. And yeah, life is good for people who had equity in the company. For everyone, like to be fair, Kasim made huge bonuses to everyone involved throughout the process, and especially to the founding team members who, again, the way he designed these bonuses was ridiculously over-engineered based on the time, on capacities, and everything else. So it was really exciting. So after that, we decided to focus on something that we are really good at. So being able to build processes in one thing, being able to be smart in Google Ads is another thing as well. But being able to find people who will be able to do all of that for you without you having to be in the accounts, having to be the only sole person to do all of that is like the golden nugget in our case. So we decided to focus on hiring in particular. And then we decided to focus like niching down. So I'm speaking with a lot of entrepreneurs. I'm in a lot of different masterminds, like driven mastermind, front of that, and so on. And we hear the same thing over and over. Everything that I've been mentioning for the last 12 minutes basically is that entrepreneurs waste their time on the things they shouldn't even know exist, basically. So you don't even have to touch that, but for some reason we are spending our time on that. So our number one role that we decided to fulfill for people were executive assistants, like generalist person that everyone would benefit from. Somebody who will be able to jump into your inbox, somebody who will be able to schedule your stuff around, somebody who will be able to report to clients, like doing all of these different things. So you can focus on what you're really good at, right? In majority of cases, people first focus on sales because that empowers you to do much more of them and onboard more clients. And again, imagine your executive assistants being able to onboard all of the clients, get all of the access information from them. Like that saves a lot of time. So the way we decided to do that, like we were never in recruiting, so we never ran companies that do like headhunting, recruiting type of thing. So we designed it as we knew how, basically a challenge style pipeline for filtering out candidates. So we ran 3-day challenge presenting people how to become executive assistants, basically. And our, again, primary region is South America. Our only region is South America, basically. All of our assistants are coming from South America, from Colombia, Argentina. I would say 80% of them are from Colombia, Argentina.
And why is that?
Great question. So a lot of our clients need executive assistants to work their hours, right? So given the experience with Solutions 8 with our folks based in East Asia, so Philippines, India, Pakistan, and so on, the hours difference is just cruel, basically. You have to work nights. Like in there, for our specialists, we didn't require them to be full-time throughout the US hours, right? They didn't have to do that. They only had to show up on calls that were scheduled. But even then, like it's just impossible to live a normal life and sustain these hours, in my opinion, if we are requiring someone to work US-based hours. For South America, it's much easier. For example, if somebody is based in Texas and they need an assistant and we place them with somebody from Colombia, then there is no time difference. The hours are the same. So your assistant is working your hours comfortably without any problems. And that empowers them to have work-life balance, and that empowers them to sustain and work with you for a longer period of time and basically have a normal life while still keeping this employment. Another thing I would say that a lot of our clients benefit from, especially in the agency side, especially like the executive assistants that face clients, is Spanish. being able to know
Interesting.
Spanish, like it's super useful language in the US, like compared to Filipino or Hindu, which are spoken but much less frequently in the US. A lot of entrepreneurs benefit from their EA actually knowing that. There is a lot of other reasons, but these are the main two. Kasim decided to take a scout trip to Argentina.
That sounds fun.
He said that, yeah, we need to see like what the place like and so on. So he ran there after the challenge. So once the 3-day challenge was complete, he met with our like assistants who were in Buenos Aires. So that was really cool. And that's how we basically generated our first cohort of executive assistants. Then from this 3-day challenge, they were moved to the 10-day bootcamp. And right now we only do bootcamp. We don't do challenge anymore. But throughout these 10 days, we go through about 90 different tools. So throughout 10 days,
90.
like, yeah, 90.
Wow.
So
Jeez.
every day, yeah, close to 10 different tools. And we go for 2.5, 3 hours every day. And basically have a crash course university on how to become a badass executive assistant. So you go through all of these things. We go through soft skills, inbox management, calendar management, time zones, through a lot of the AI. 3 days out of the 10 days are high level alone. We teach how to build landing pages, workflows, what CRMs look like, and how overall tie it all together. After these 10 days, we give them a choice, basically. They can either just take the knowledge because the knowledge is free for them. They didn't pay anything to get through the bootcamp. And as you understand, like we could have charged like $1,500 for something like that. And that's in South America. In the US, we probably could have charged more. So they can just take it, leave it, and do freelance, do other things, use us as like certification option. So we provide certificates as well once you complete. Or they can try to join Pareto Talent. And if they want to join Pareto Talent, this is where things get messy for them, because on the last day of the bootcamp, on Friday, we present them with we call it the final project. We present them with the final project requirements, and the deadline for that project is Wednesday. Here's what they have to do. For the most recent one, we told them that, hey, your entrepreneur is Joe Polish, and you have to prepare a full book launch basically for him. So you need to research how Alex Hermosi did his book launch, analyze everything that was prepared within the book launch, build a landing page on high level with at least 5 sections, and you define what are the sections and what is the content. We don't have any content. You need to build book mockups. You need to research the podcast where we can make an appearance and promote the book, and write custom emails to these podcast hosts, and do all of these things. Then prepare everything in ClickUp. Then you need to prepare mockups for the Facebook ads, like all of these different things. Actually,
everything.
Let me try to share the screen. I have here final projects. I have all of them right here, right? So if we take here somebody like Agustina, this is how something like that looks like, what they submit in the ad, right? So they prepare the whole submission on everything that I just mentioned, where they outline this, right? Here is the research on all of the different podcasts. Here is the personalizational emails. Here is the link to the landing page that was prepared throughout the bootcamp, right? Links to the workflows. They had to design the pipelines. They had to create all of the emails that will go out once you sign up for the free chapter of the book. Had to design mockups for the Facebook ads and what we'll be sending, right? So all of this, and then wrap it up with the Loom presentation of what they've done, so we can prepare this as an SOP, right? So imagine that you have to do this task in the future again. So that's an example of them. We, for the most recent one, we received 200 submissions, I would say.
God, that's insane.
So, and that's out of thousands and thousands of people who were starting. So I believe about 8,000 people tried to get into the bootcamp. We only approved about 1,000 people, and out of this 1,000 people, only 200 submitted the final project. So the rest either bail somewhere throughout the bootcamp, or once they see the final project, they decide, okay, yeah, it's way too much, sorry. So, and that's exactly what we want.
So I want to rewind real quick to make sure I understand this. So you guys gathered 8,000 applicants via a challenge that I'm assuming you promoted on social media, all that?
Facebook only.
Okay, Facebook, got it. And was it Facebook ads, organic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Facebook ads. And I don't want to lie. I can try to find. I want to show like not to show, but mention the precise like numbers. I have from the previous one. I have the numbers from the previous one in here. So for the most, okay, so for the previous bootcamp that we ran, because we ran already 5 of them, more or less, right? Let me do this.
Facebook ads are the best. I love them. I was like coming from Solutions 8 and then learning Facebook after that. I'm like, Facebook's the best. Like Google's great. Facebook's amazing.
I'm not sure why people trash Facebook ads.
I don't know either. Yeah, I really don't.
Let me try to share my screen 1 second. I just want to choose the right time frame.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Here we go. Because we are talking about marketing, so let's talk about marketing. So here, this was the most recent one. So for the most recent one, we've spent about 20,000, as I can see, right? So these are BC4, so Bootcamp 4 campaigns, right? And yeah, here remarketing majority of them. So about 20,000, and we generated total about 5,000 applicants, and I don't remember exactly how many we approved, right? So yeah, these are the campaigns. So
Gotcha.
in Facebook
this
ads,
is in Argentina, right?
So Argentina and Colombia primarily, but we also have LATAM, and NE stands for non-employment, because we sometimes get flagged by Facebook for employment category, right? So that's why I'm playing with both of them. So
Gotcha.
Employment and non-employment to see what performs better. So non-employment recently performs much better. And then it looks again something like this. So in these campaigns, I usually start like I do crazy things that were crazy. Right now they're more normal, where I don't have any audience, I don't have any placements. All I choose is just the country, because I don't care.
Plus, just let it rip kind of thing.
Yes. So I don't care like what city you're from. I don't care your age. If you are a good prospect, if you're a good lead that qualifies and goes through our form, then like I'm all hands for it, right? And that's what, again, a lot of people had problems with, like, yeah, but my audience is like 25 to 35 males with income of 150,000 plus. But what if their income is 149,000 and they are 36 years old? Right?
Yeah.
They're full out of your prospect.
Or the targeting is just wrong, and then it excludes someone that maybe shouldn't be excluded.
Yeah, exactly. So then I usually run a couple of different audiences, and I run a couple of different creatives. So for that one, for example, I run just a very generic ad where I use dynamic creatives, upload a couple of images, a couple of tags, and just let it rip, right? And this one, as you can see, like majority of images I'm getting from Pexels or on Unsplash, so they're not even our images. Or we also try stories a lot. I like stories are great here. Custom stories. Stories working really, really well. So we prepare stories like that, right? Where we just, again, you stand in front of the camera, then we add some captions in front of that. And for stories, I only focus on the stories placement, right? Then we only focus on Reels and Instagram stories. And these are working really well, really well. So here for that one, $12 per website. And again, I call it website schedule, but it's Facebook. So it means our full website registration, right? I use standard events. I'm not using custom events. We tried lookalike, and lookalike are like insanely expensive for whatever reason. They're not working anymore. And then what I do, I duplicate. So I duplicate that over and over again until my performance improves. So for example, when I start running, I see that, let's say, some of these campaigns perform better than the other, then I just start turning them off. Not campaigns, ad groups, like audiences and creatives, right? If I see, again, something is more expensive, usually I run just by the cost per result. So if I see something is more expensive, I start turning them off, and then I ended up with like winners, kind of, and then I duplicate and make iterations of these winners and run them again. Usually what it does, it triggers Facebook to restart the learning based on this campaign, right? So now it takes everything in consideration and runs another version of this campaign, and usually better. It's not always works like that, but when it works like that, it's like pretty fun. So yeah, that's our like lead acquisition. Then they go through our process completely, and then we generate EAs. And again, from the one campaign that I just showed you, the cost per acquisition was about, as you've seen, like $25. And then out of everyone who applies, only 10% of people getting approved, because our application to the bootcamp is where we're filtering people out. We ask for Loom video, for personality test, for cognitive assessment, for CV, for everything we could. Basically,
So let's focus on that a little bit. So so they have submitted a Loom video, got that. So does the Loom video like have to be sort of like why they should join, like time limit?
present
What's
yourself. We keep it very vague. We like present yourself. We had one
Okay.
guy that made like a movie about himself, basically, and that was like.
Oh.
So here is the reason why we are not limiting it in our like recruitment kind of space. I want to see somebody who will take an extra mile, not just like
Yeah.
follow the requirements, but somebody who will just push above and beyond. So yeah, they have to make a Loom video, and a lot of people just like in the field for Loom video just write like no, and we just then on our end we also click no, and that's it. We are not diving way too deep into that, because if you cannot follow the requirements, if you don't understand the value proposition, then like maybe we failed or maybe you cannot read, right? So
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I think like if people looking for a job, they got to put the extra effort in. So like in terms, okay, so there's the Loom video, got that, and it can be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, a movie, on whatever.
Not requirement. We ask for a minimum of 2 minutes usually, but we had people with shorter ones that were really good as well, and then they are
Gotcha. I'm saying like the free Loom versus the paid Loom, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So so that's the first filter, and this is, I assume, filtered in Go High Level.
So yeah, all of the Pareto talent lives in Go High Level. Our main website is on WordPress, but everything else is on Go High Level. And actually, let me try to pull that up as well. So then again, they start the application in there. They first form, I have basically two form, right? Conversion funnel kind of. So the first form is just name and email, just to be able to capture you for the remarketing and for the email campaign. And then once you submit the first form, this is where you see the real form that asks you for like everything else. And I designed them as a surveys, so you see one question at a time. And I also prepare people that saying that, hey, it will take you like 30 minutes. So like, don't start if you're not ready.
So quick point on that as well too. So that, because I'm curious, because I mean, I think anyone in lead generation, this is like valuable because this could be translated towards like almost any business.
Yep.
So you're optimizing towards the first form fill. Oh, okay, you're not the second. Okay, but the first is just
all of the conversions that I'm tracking in Facebook, all of them. So I'm not even tracking the first step. All of them are second step, just to feed Facebook with the right information. Like I want these people. Like Facebook shouldn't care how they get to the second conversion. Facebook only cares that this kind of audience converted with this second step form. So I want this kind of audience. Right.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you're using the first form just for the email. Got it. It makes total sense.
First form I just used to be able to put you in remarketing, because as you've seen, like half of my budget is remarketing. And for remarketing, we do something very specific, which I'm not sure why people don't do a lot of them. I just had Kasim. Kasim is our like face. He's gorgeous. So like
the long-haired man.
Yeah.
I just thought it was always funny how John's bald and Kasim is just flowing long hair.
I think Kasim
just polar opposites.
John's mojo. So so we run this, and I had Kasim to create a custom video ad where Kasim just speaks to the camera and said, "Hey, you were on my website. Why you didn't convert?" And so on, like in nice words, right?
Yeah.
And people freak out of that. Like we know what remarketing is. We know like, okay, yeah, like I will see custom ad. But when people like you see it in your shorts, so imagine you clicked on something and you see it in your shorts, a guy yelling at you saying, "Hey, come back and convert or your life will be miserable." Like in nice words, again, I'm just simplifying. People like react to that and like I literally had maybe 60% of everyone who's in our bootcamps, they saw the second ad. They saw Kasim saying them to come back, right? So yeah, let me try to show you that. And you tell me if we have a time limit or something like that, because I can talk about
we can keep going. I got another like 25 minutes, so we're good.
So here's our like right now it's closed. I closed the application. So instead of like killing the page, I just closed the application and to put a wait list in here, right? But this is our kind of landing page where we present everything that is going to happen. And then once they click that they want to convert, basically in here you would see a form like first name, last name, right? Once you click that, you will be redirected to this page. And again, application is closed right now. And on this page, we'll say, hey, okay, this is step 2 out of 2. And on the first form, I write step 1 out of 1. So we're trying to be very transparent with people that, hey, this is not the end. You're not just submitting one form. You'll be submitting 2 forms. And this is just the first one, right?
Okay, so 1 out of 2 and then 2 out of 2. Got it.
Yeah. And then in here they will see our survey with questions on like Loom video. What do you want to do within the next 5 years? What's your biggest achievement so far? What you would like to achieve, and so on. And then in here we also do a lot of the FAQ. So this is like a fully like conversion locked page, right? Where we have just the form and everything that helps you to submit the form, and no way to get out, basically.
No header, no nothing. That's awesome. So okay, so you got the talent from Facebook, lead generation, pushing out the message, adding retargeting for people that have visited that haven't converted in a custom audience, and then you're filtering them via questions and if this then that kind of logic inside of Go High Level, which people can do. And there's actually, I mean, obviously you know this, but like chat bots, for example, that will filter for you as well. Are you doing that, or is it more of
we
your
have
logic?
We have a simpler version of this logic. So whenever somebody submits outside of our allowed countries, perhaps, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
We'll filter them out, and they receive an email saying, hey, sorry, we are not accepting, because we ask them what country you're from. Then if some of the fields are empty, we filter them out. And the whole conversion tracking, right, works using Facebook Conversion API.
Yeah.
And is only triggered once somebody qualified all of the criteria, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of very important, because that allows us to improve the lead quality significantly. Because I only push Conversion API when you submitted the form properly.
Gotcha.
Awesome. And
going for pure quality over volume. Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So in here's our like the recent one. Like, so from 82,000 people that we were able, 70,000 people that we were able to send to step 1, we had about 18% conversion rate to 13,000, and then from there, as you can see, uniques on the step 2 are 29,000. So we had so many referrals, number 1. So a lot of people are recommending us just for gigs and send step 2 page. And the other thing is remarketing. Remarketing brings a lot of people who just visited as well back. And it brings them to the, again, step 2 as well. And then from them, 1,400 people submitted the step 2 with Looms, personality, and so on. And from this 1,400, I don't want to lie, I believe about 400 were accepted.
Gotcha.
So that brings, down that.
And I was going to ask, so like, okay, so you've been up to the Loom, and that's more of like the manual side of things. So that's going from the I think the 1,400 to the 400, or whatever that number was.
Yeah.
On the last step 2. So you're importing in, if I get this correct, you're importing in step 2 in the process when they're qualified, but not when they're taken on. Got it. And then you said that was Loom, and then personality test. Is that like what? Just curious.
So for the personality test, we use predictive index. It takes about 5 minutes to complete the test. It's just a line of checkboxes that allows us to ensure that your personality matches entrepreneurs. Because right now, given that we have almost 100 something assistants, like that already working with our entrepreneurs, we have a lot of data on what personalities work better. So I know that if your operator individually strategist, you will work much better as entrepreneur, rather than if you're a captain or promoter or something like that, because these roles like are more entrepreneurish. So what it means is that you will have internal debate if it's all worth it, kind of. So that's very interesting, because majority of our entrepreneurs fall in like 3 or 4 personalities.
Interesting. I'll have to take that test.
Yeah,
I checked the Myers-Briggs, but I haven't taken that test before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's one of the requirements that we have. And to be honest, all of this, like if you remember Solutions 8 conversion form, it was like that. Like you had to tell us like what's for like your cat name and so on. We had
it was pretty big.
It was a massive form, because here is the truth: is that like you are not only wearing out like the machine resources, like the actual form submissions, you are wearing out everyone else who stands after this process. So if you are not qualifying your leads up front like that, your salespeople will like want to kill themselves, kind of.
Can't have that.
Yeah, so you need to ensure that they spend their time on the quality leads. And in our case, because our trainings, our bootcamps are live and on Zoom, I don't want anyone and everyone in there, because like you know how it can go with like Zoom that is open to people. they can do weird stuff in there. So that's why we are like very aggressive on filtering and then very aggressive on kicking people out. So if you're misbehaving by any means, or just ask stupid questions repeatedly, because I run this thing, I just kick people out. Like, sorry,
Savage. I love it though.
you're way top of the funnel for us. Like, we need to be a little bit tech savvy, right? But
Gotcha.
yeah, that's the process. And here is the crazy thing. I just posted about that on LinkedIn. We didn't spend any money on entrepreneurs.
No money on entrepreneurs.
So this is because our business is like difficult. We need to acquire the product first, go and like find the product, like and then we need to find the clients.
Gotcha.
And in majority of cases, your problem is demand. So you need to find more people that will give you money. In our case, the problem is supply. Is having badass executive assistant. Once I have a really good executive assistant who went through all of the process, I have entrepreneurs lining up that want these people. And for the most recent one, this was the first time when we had a wait list of 25 entrepreneurs waiting for us to finish the bootcamp.
Wow, that's great. And I assume that part of this is also for everyone that's unaware too. Part of this, I'm sure, is built off of just Casim's networking too, though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So that's like a good like starting point. But then eventually, do you think you'll have to run ads for it?
I'm starting that right now. I'm not running ads. What I'm doing right now, I'm working on social media. So I started posting myself more on LinkedIn. I will do my personal brand as well more. And we are about to start called email marketing. I think it will work better for our product, but I'm not sure. Maybe we will need to start the ad sometime. The problem with entrepreneurs and them hiring executive assistant is education. Like, majority of entrepreneurs are like you. They don't know that there is like, okay, I can actually have someone else do this stuff for me. They feel like, okay, I need to optimize my day. I need to be more productive. I need to do more things. Like, no, you just need to give away all of the stuff you shouldn't be doing. So once they will come to this conclusion, this is where they become our client. That, okay, actually, like, I actually need to hire someone. Then they start evaluating their options. So basically, very bottom of the funnel. And top of the funnel is our educational content. So Kasim's YouTube channel that we started, and I'm not sure if you saw Kasim's YouTube channel, it's been fully managed by one of our EAs. She finds the topics, she edits the videos, she publishes everything, she replies to the comments, she does everything for his YouTube channel. And right now it's like at about 1,500 subscribers since we started.
That's amazing.
A couple of months ago. Yeah. Dang. And that's something that we are looking for other entrepreneurs, right?
Gotcha. So to get this straight, so you're not going after just agencies. You're going after like any entrepreneur out there.
I have a lot of fun entrepreneurs. I have soccer coach that has 2 locations in New Jersey. I have a plastic surgeon. I have a couple of people in real estate. I have a couple of people in legal. Actually, a lot of people in legal. And we have a ton of agencies. One of our actual first client was Mitch Barham. You know.
Oh,
Mitch.
yeah. I like Mitch.
Yeah, we gave him 3 employees basically right now. So we gave him 2 executive assistants, and Leandra right now is working with Mitch as well.
That's right. Yeah, I was talking later about that. That's awesome.
So that's exactly what we're, because his agency is called Barham Marketing. So that's how majority of agencies start. Like you like solopreneur, you start yourself, you start doing things, and then you need to grow. So Mitch was, again, smart enough to realize that he needs help.
Makes sense. Interesting. Okay. So, but for anyone, that's the key with this. So I think the good thing, and I think we probably have a couple questions surrounding AI that might want to cover real quick, but just want to say this again for everyone watching, that if you're looking for someone to help you in the business, specifically someone that is going to be a VA to like an executive, not necessarily just someone that would just be on the outskirts, but someone that would be connected to specifically improving your time as a business owner, then this is sort of who you're going after. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this is the big difference when we were stepping into like, how do you even call these people? Because like these are a kind of right hand kind of position. This is not like virtual assistant. So this is my terminology. Virtual assistant is a person who focuses on one specific task or one specific tool for you.
Okay.
Yeah, executive assistant is a person that focuses on helping you achieve your goals. So they can do different things from day to day. Their responsibilities will change a lot. They will be the one to manage your virtual assistants if you have them. because again, it's back and forth, like given the revisions and all of these other things, right? So they become this like kind of right-handish person, right?
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then I guess for people, okay, so that clarifies up a lot. And then I think in regards to AI, because AI is very much geared towards like a task again and again and again, and
Yeah.
pretty much just building logic around that task. So this is more of a dynamic role, not a specific like, hey, we just need you to reach out, let's say to, I don't know, 100 replies a day or whatever it is. No, this is like, hey, we might have to need you for 100 replies today. Now we're going to edit this video. Now we're going to brainstorm
Yeah.
ideas on what the next launch is. So it's more dynamic in that sense. Gotcha. So
Yeah.
in terms of VAs, because I know there's a bigger demand, at least for what I'm feeling for
Mhm.
AI and workflows and trying to, have analysis just kind of really done fast and not, painstakingly someone going through and actually looking at all the posts. And so when you have your executive assistants go through all those 90 different applications, you mentioned AI, or at least some of those flows were in there.
Yeah.
What's kind of the training on that so people can better understand how this is different than just AI?
Sure. So the 10 days of bootcamp, if you look even deeper into that, is just the second, like the third form kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a interview process again, but for 10 days. So again, out of these people who start, only fractions go through. So what I'm trying to say is that the training doesn't stop on the bootcamp. It's where it
Okay.
actually begins, because after that they join our pool of talent. And what we are doing differently than majority of recruitment agencies, majority of them just give you a person and you play flat fee once for them. Usually like quarter of the year or even half of the year, sometimes depends on like the recruitment company. In our case, we place you with one of our EAs, and that allows us to, first of all, give you a lifetime replacement guarantee. So if something goes south with your EA, we replace them free of charge with different EA. And another thing, what it allows us to do is on an ongoing basis, train them on all of these new AI tools that pop up. Because the bootcamp we've done a couple of months ago is already outdated. That's why we do it live and each time, because some of the tools that I was mentioning are the best ones, right? Right now already kind of second down. And specifically in the AI, this is the most true in the AI, because the prompt engineering that we used to do is like meaningless right now, to be honest. Right now, like the things that we used to be doing with the prompt engineering, like assume the persona, outline all of the different items like you have access to, and so on. Right now, you can just start talking to the microphone and tell your AI everything that you need. And the way I do that, I usually like mumble for like 5 minutes with AI, give it all of the back information, like the same way I would do to my executive assistant. Like I will tell all of the back information, historical information on particular tasks that I'm trying to achieve. I will give the reason and the goal on why I want that task to be done. I give the access to all of the resources, so I upload all of the different files I have, and then I have it go. Right. So then it understands better like what is it
The
actually
context
achieving.
of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So our first bootcamps were tailored very hard on this prompts on how to like build them. Right now, I would say it's more tailored on using variety of different apps, like how to understand better what model is better in different things, because that is just wild. Like the things that you can get with ChatGPT versus Claude for different tasks, or versus Grok, right? I tried building my investment portfolio on ChatGPT, Claude, and Grok, and Grok wanted me to YOLO in altcoins so bad. Like, hey, you're young, you have nothing to lose. Like, you will make this money back. Just go ahead. Like, meme coin. Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I'm still like 60% in tech QQQ. So, like, I mean, like, I'm still risky.
That's
But,
the same, actually. Literally same. It's
oh,
funny.
really?
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, we need to.
VOO or yeah, QQQ.
Yeah, awesome. So throughout this 10 days of bootcamp, one day is fully focused on just AI. First, we start with understanding what AI is and is not, because for majority of people, this is like black curtain. They have no idea.
Yeah,
They
it's
think
so
it's
new.
black. This like how I thought in the beginning that AI is black magic, and I can ask it anything and it will just know it like magically. And then we started diving deeper. Okay, it's like it just predicts the answer based on everything that humans said that it has access to, and then it filters through the requirements that you put together. So we present that, then we dive into understanding how to work with AI, so the prompt engineering and so on, and then we show variety of different tools. So on the most recent one, we went through ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok as well. We went through Operator AI because back then it just launched, which for executive assistants, Operator AI is like crazy good because you can overcome having to API integrate any stuff. You just turn this on and it just clicks on the screen different things for you. So it's insanely good. And then we dive into NA10 a lot. So NA10 is the most like powerful one, I would say, right now for workflows and AI agents and things like that. So we show them how to build like simplish NA10 workflows. And then like right now I have executive assistants who know much more than I do on NA10 because they work with their entrepreneurs every day on these tools.
Sure.
Then we have again other sides of all of that is that all of our EAs have to contribute back to our group. So all of our EAs are kind of in executive assistant mastermind. So we have a huge Slack for all of them with different subtopics. So on AI and other things, and then Monday training. So any of the EAs can jump back and present something on the Monday training that they learned, right? That will
that's
also stay
awesome.
up to date on all of the AI things, right? Because I know that I have like 100 people exposed to different things, and somebody will catch something really cool, and they will bring it back to the group. The other thing that I like to do is I stay on top of the product hunt. So I have product hunt opened in my favorites, and at least couple times a week I open it up and click on 10 random apps throughout the list, like apps of the day. And like you can find a lot of crazy things in there. This is how I found my favorite software for email management, which is Shortwave. Shortwave is basically it integrates with your Gmail, and then it has a ChatGPT built into that. And the ChatGPT can go ahead and filter your inbox. It can draft replies. It can find contextual search. It can do contextual search on your emails. So you can ask like, hey, like, what are my friends and who can I ask to if I'm depressed? It will go ahead and read all of the emails that like it found related to that. Because like if you type any of these keywords in Google in Gmail search, it will not find anything. It doesn't have the context. It will just look for like actual letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So really cool tool. My EA actually is using this tool to manage my inbox. That's how like that can be structured.
I'll have to look up Product Hunt and check that out because I've never used that. So that sounds. I just pulled it up. So
Like
that sounds interesting.
it sounds like it used to sound like a weird tool that people used to promote their apps. Right now, in my opinion, Product Hunt is the only way for you to stay on top of things. So
there's too much out there.
Yeah, I opened producthunt.com and it already gives you things that somebody else liked. So they already like a little bit more valuable than like your random stuff on Google that you like try to find. And you can just again jump ahead and see what they're doing. So one API for models, hire 10x faster, and bias structure interviews. That is stuff for me, right? So I can go through and see how that tool can help me to build my workflows better, right? Because they already went through and engineered it. I have no idea if this tool any good. So like,
don't
use it.
Not liable for that tool.
Yeah,
never used it.
You just jumping in and click through the stuff that sounds like relevant to what you do and play with this and see what you do. This is what Kasim, if you remember, Kasim had this illness, I call it. He has
Shiny object syndrome
to AppSumo, and once a week he would go ahead and buy like 3 different apps on AppSumo just because the deal sounded good. And then we jump in and like the majority of the apps were trash, but some of them were really good. Like the Talify, what we used for onboardings for for Solutions 8. He found the deal on AppSumo. It was like no name app back then. And we built basically again multi-million-dollar agency on the backbone of this tool.
That's awesome. No, it's great. I think this makes all sense though across the board because like I know that a lot of people are like, well, VAs and then executive assistants, obviously the difference there, but then also just broadening what they can do in the first place. Because like AI is, like you said, and I agree, it's not necessarily it's not there yet, but you can create multiple tools like agents that will flow together, but that still has to be managed by, for example, a VA, like an executive VA.
What I would do, just task your EA was building this stuff. So even if you are, again, a lot of you guys and probably your audience are super tech smart and so on, if they can open Google Ads and launch a campaign. Majority of people feel like they can do all of this themselves and there's no need to involve someone else. But then you realize that you just spent 15 hours on NA10 workflow that still doesn't work. And you're still building it. And someday it will be like very cool. But these 15 hours you could have been on sales, closing deals and making money actually. right?
Yeah,
So instead of
prioritization.
that, what you could do is take one of these VAs, whoever, hire someone, put them on this task, say, hey, go ahead and develop this workflow. Spend no more than 2 hours a day on that, and just put time into that to develop it, right? That would allow you to start pushing these things forward without wasting like way too much time.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. I mean, I think that kind of sums up majority of what I wanted to cover. I think that just to kind of, put it out there, it's like you're not pushing VAs, you're pushing EAs. These people have been vetted through, just like I said, what we just went over, the filters within both the personality test, the Loom, and then your guys' judgment, which obviously has been good based on building a company, Solutions 8,
Yeah.
off of this similar sort of
We have
concept.
2 professional HRs right now, both from Buenos Aires. One we stole from Kimberly Clark. She's been working with, again, Disney, Haggis, like other bigger companies as well. And the other one works with her as well. Both of them have like 20 years of experience. So on top of all of that, we push the human factor, right? Because
Other
again,
talent,
there
yeah.
is a lot of things AI can do, but AI won't be able to replicate human connection. So
Yeah.
you will still want people by your side. Like otherwise, we will go into Her, the movie with Jacqueline Phoenix. If you know that one, that's crazy. Like it predicted a lot of things that happening right now, but really cool thing. So we still again go and vet all of this process, right?